Hey, guys, welcome back and happy Monday. Guys, I want to first start off by thanking you for joining us for our lives. We had a lot of lives today, so thank you for participating in that. And then also we have hot, messy topics shortly after you watch this video at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard. So we have a lot going on. Mondays are always crazy, but we will be back tomorrow for 90 Day Fiance. And of course, Jason will be back tomorrow night for Anchor Watch. That's not what we're here to talk about today. We're back to talk about the fact that Jerry O'Connell is shading Erika Girardi for focusing on herself instead of the victims amid the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills stars legal drama. We have all the details and more, but before we jump in, if you guys haven't already, go ahead, smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed, and don't forget to hit that notification bell because, well, you don't want to miss anything we have coming up. With that, let's jump right in.
It's time for all your binge-worthy pop culture news. Welcome to Up and Adam.
All right, guys, so it looks like Jerry O'Connell is not impressed with how Erika Girardi has handled the legal scandal around her and Tom Girardi. We all know about it, the Girardi scandal, and she hasn't portrayed herself the way fans have wanted her to, but it looks like she hasn't portrayed herself the way Jerry O'Connell has wanted to. So while appearing on Watch What Happens Live, Jerry O'Connell, who is a huge Real Housewives super fan, was asked about Erika's demeanor on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills season 11 and questioned about what he would like to see from Erika moving forward. Okay, so it was asked by him by Andy Cohen, of course. How do you feel Erika is coming off so far, open or defensive or both? And Jerry O'Connell simply said, look, Erika is a friend of all of ours, but I have to say Erika is coming off as defensive. I still follow Erika on social media, and there seems to be a disconnect between what we all know and what Erika is doing. Now listen, Erika Jayne changed the game, not only for Housewives, but for unscripted fashion. As Meghan McCain said on the show, when I was on with her, there would be no Dorit Kemsley without Erika Jayne. But I just feel like there's a disconnect happening here, and there's not many or any at all mention of the victims. There's only mention of her. So I'm taking a little bit of an issue with it all. Okay, I like Jerry O'Connell, but what? She paved the way for Dorit in her fashions? Okay, we'll keep going. Andy then asked, what is the number one thing you want to hear from Erika coming up? And he said, I want to hear the victims talked about. Not about what, how much of a disturbance this has been for Erika. I want to hear about the victims. Following the episode, a number of fans weighed in on Twitter, many of whom applauded Jerry for his sentiments. One said, yes, thank you, Jerry. We want to hear about the real victims because EJ is no victim. Pray for the real victims. Another person agreed, saying, absolutely, tons of people besides myself will be boycotting the show because it just hurts deep down knowing this funds her and the people who don't care about the victims. Oof. And it keeps going. A third fan said, listen to this, Erika. So many people feel the same way about you. You came from nothing. You will end up with nothing. The circle of life. Karma, baby. All right, so we know that Erika is not only facing claims of helping Tom Girardi embezzle millions of dollars from widows and orphans of plane crash victims, but she also faces a $25 million lawsuit, which suggested that she received millions of dollars in fraudulent transfers from Tom Girardi's law firm, Girardi Keese. This is never ending. Guys, again, we all know that the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills season 12, it is filming, and we do have a few tidbits already. So we mentioned Sanella Diana Jenkins, and she is a friend of Lisa Rinna's and also Dorit Kemsley's and the Hiltons. And we saw her filming on Dorit's first night out after the home invasion. Now, when we saw her filming, we heard rumors that she could potentially be joining the cast, but we weren't quite sure. And we thought about it. Okay, could she be joining the cast? Is she just being tested out? I mean, we've seen many housewives and friends of tested out that never really make it. Well, then I guess they wouldn't be a housewife. But the point is that never really make it. However, we did see her on the red carpet at Kyle's event where she opened a new store in Palm Springs called Kyle X Shahida. We saw that. So maybe she is making it through. This would be 2.5 weeks in at this point, almost 3 weeks. So at this point, if Dana Wilkie's right, what happens now is they hand her a contract, production, and she at first gets a temporary 3-week contract that says, we're just going to vet you out and see what we think. And then after, production gives her a new contract that either says, hey, we want to have you as a friend of the show, or we want you as a full-time housewife. Now that'll decide what she gets paid. From there, she'll negotiate her pay. But of course, since she's new, she's not going to get paid that much to begin with. What the most important thing about all of this, though, is we don't need another yes man. We saw in the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion where it seemed like the women cowered to Erika Girardi every time she would get upset and she would scathe her teeth at them. She would just run. I mean, she ran the reunion. It even looked like Andy Cohen was scared. So we need somebody who's going to get into the thick of it, who's going to say whatever they want. And if they have a problem with a story that's not connecting, maybe one of Erika Girardi's stories, then they can call it out. I'm not saying let's have a melee and a free-for-all on Erika Girardi, but whether it's Sutton, Erika, Dorit, I don't care who it is. We need someone to come in and shake things up. We don't have that on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I think, honestly, that's why the Real Housewives of Potomac, they're so successful, because all of the women, for the most part, have no problem throwing shade. They are not afraid of one another. And that's important, because if you have some sort of hierarchy or tier situation within the Housewives, and you're not going to go after the main person because you think that the network or someone will come down on you, yeah, that's annoying and nobody wants to watch that show. We want to see authentic, genuine relationships, conflict resolution. We want to see it all. But I don't want to just give you my opinion. I do want to ask, what do you think about Jerry O'Connell chiming in on Erika Girardi, saying that he feels like, well, he's not getting enough out of her. Mind you, even though I read you 3 fan tweets, that's how a lot of people feel. A lot of people feel this is kind of BS and they don't want to watch the show anymore because Erika's still on it. She's not the only one this has happened to. It happened to Kelly Dodd, where they boycotted Orange County. If Kelly Dodd was going to continue to be on the show, then they got rid of her, either for that or because of Heather Dubrow. Candace Diller Bassett, Andy Cohen revealed last night in the reunion that fans are also tweeting to him to boycott her or get her fired off the show. And now Erika Girardi is in the same ordeal. If Jen Shah would have came out, well, we don't know if she's going to be found guilty or not guilty, but if she comes out as not guilty, I'm sure fans are going to boycott her too. The point is, when there's some sort of scandal around you, as much as fans love to watch it, they want to see some sort of action taken by the network, Andy, Bravo, whatever network you're dealing with. But I don't know if that's what they're going to get here, because from what we're hearing, she's getting a pay raise. But again, back to it, do you agree with Jerry O'Connell? And also, how do you feel about this new woman, Sanella Diana Jenkins? Are we here for it? Are we excited for her? And will you be watching her? Guys, go ahead and comment below and give me all the answers to all the questions in which I asked. Don't forget, we are going live in probably 10 minutes after you watch this for Hot Messy Topics at 6 p.m. Eastern. That will be a subscribers only live chat. So if you're not subscribed, get subscribed. That way you can join the chat, chime in, give it to us, tell us what you need to, but yes, subscribers only. Guys, I love you. Don't forget to smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. And don't forget to hit that notification bell. With that, we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.